Well, hey guys, welcome back to What Happens in the Woods. This is the WTF Wednesday Campfire Edition. And I gave it a fancy name.
Campfire? That's
Sure.
Your fancy edition?
Yeah.
Not like deluxe?
No. Okay. No, because this isn't a deluxe. It's just a What the Fuck Wednesday. It's not deluxe.
Okay.
No, okay, I guess you're not impressed.
I am impressed.
So I'm your host, Jessica, and with me for this adventure is Bryce.
Hello.
I don't know, honey. This is 2 weeks in a row. Are you okay?
I have to come to work because I have to get paid.
Are you feeling burnt out?
Yeah.
I know this is really stressful.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We hope that everyone's week is going well so far. You made it halfway through, so hopefully you get over that hump and it's all good. Honestly, there is a lot of what the fuckery in the world right now. It's getting harder and harder to choose what to talk about because there's just so much. But that being said, this week we have an update to share on a previous podcast episode and, of course, some more WTF-worthy news stories. Before we dive in, Bryce, here's the moment where I always ask you if you have any updates, catch you off guard, and then you immediately say no while you might have something to say.
No.
Is that true?
Yeah.
You have nothing.
Nothing?
Okay.
Nothing.
I'm going to take your word for it. I'll believe you. All right. So we'll start. It's kind of similar story to one that we talked about last week. The one regarding the American Idol contestant from Wetumpka. That word is just
Mr.
doesn't
Cox.
like my tongue. Alabama, who was charged with child pornography. Well, good old Alabama really has some serious issues with child predators because while I was looking at that information, I came across multiple, I don't even know how many other like related reports of men in that area with similar charges. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a ring of these people. I don't know if they all know each other. I don't know. So the first one that I came across that really stood out to me is a young man from a small town named it's called Deatsville. Deatsville. He also received the same 30-year sentence that Mr. Cox did. Actually, sorry, that should say 70-year sentence. So back in 2009, he actually was at a job interview at the Montgomery police station.
Oh.
And he confessed while at this job interview to his crimes.
Did anyone tell him that it wasn't a confession booth?
Right. Apparently not.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
I guess maybe just being in the building and the intimidation of it all. And maybe they just asked the right question and that was it. He shit his pants and couldn't not answer.
Well.
So whatever reason, 21-year-old Max Hinton stated that he was in possession of child porn and he engaged in sex with a minor. I'm just guessing here. He thought that honesty was the best policy. And maybe if he was like forthcoming with the information, they wouldn't care.
Yes.
Right. When investigated, the minor tried to say that it was consensual sex, but the state law is that a minor under 16 cannot consent.
Yeah.
And she was 15 at the time. So in the end, he was charged with second-degree rape, enticing a child for immoral purposes, and producing and possessing child pornography. Some not related odd tidbit that I wanted to throw in here as well is that when you go to Google Maps, because I wanted to know how far away Deatsville was from Wetumpka, because the court office is apparently in Wetumpka. It's like 20 minutes away, right? But the first thing that pulls up on Google Maps as a photo of Deatsville, Alabama, is a old-fashioned looking billboardy sign that's in an open field. It states, quote, "Go to church or the devil will get you."
The devil.
It's in big black and red letters. It's on the side of the interstate. Mm-hmm. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kills me. You got all these fucking child predators down there, but goddamn it, go to church. or the devil's going to get you.
That's right.
What about the child predators?
Yeah.
Is the devil going to get them?
But you don't know.
I guess. One of the other notable stories from the same area is that of Christopher Muir, a former Marine Corp recruiter who in 2019 downloaded and shared child pornography using the internet at Fort Rucker in Alabama.
Is it like Florida and there's something in the water there?
There's got to be something there. The stupidity of, or the cockiness, I guess, of assuming that you will not get found and charged, and you're a member of the military. So, I don't understand. Authorities found over 200 videos depicting child porn, as well as almost 200 images of illegal pornographic content on his computer. What pissed me off?
Well, was it his computer or was it the military's computer? Because that's even worse. Now you're just being stupid.
They didn't differentiate, and it might have been the military's computer, but they did not say. What pissed me off is that this asshat was only sentenced to 7 years in a federal prison.
Yeah.
And 5 years of supervised, release. So after the 7 years that he serves, he would need to be supervised in most of his interactions with anybody. And well, I'm sure those are the longest, 7 years of his life they're going to be. Especially due to the nature of the crime. Child abusers don't get treated that well in prison. No. It's not enough.
Well, it's also federal prison, which is a lot tougher than just like a state pen. That's for damn sure. And
sure.
Because a lot of those guys are military, or they're a lot of those like hardened criminals that cross state lines or things like that. But yeah, the federal pen is no joke.
No, I'm not saying it's a joke, but no,
I understand what you're saying. The sentence needs to be longer than 7 years.
Right.
Yeah. But I've noticed too that federal sentences aren't as long or strict.
Because it's rougher?
No, I just don't think by federal standards that their sentences seem to be lighter. I guess not lighter, but just like their sentences aren't as long.
Yeah. To me, it doesn't seem enough. I don't care where it is.
Well, see, the one thing that always stuck out to me, too, was that case we did earlier in season 1 where there's no murder statute for federal crime.
Oh, yeah. The
Grigsby.
Grigsby and Peterson. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess I get what you're saying. To me, of course, federal prisons are for, like you said, the hardened criminals. So I'm sure there are many other people in those facilities that have done way worse crimes. To me, child pornography is, I don't know. I put it up there as one of the worst crimes.
Yeah, it is.
It's disgusting.
Those are the ones that we should protect because they can't protect themselves.
Right. And the law should protect them. And I feel like 7 years, yeah, he's ruined his life, but 7 years
has failed the child.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, there were many more stories like that kept popping up in regards to that type of crime in the area that we were in Alabama. Yeah. I'm sorry if anyone listening lives there. I'm sure there are very nice people and lots of very fun activities to do, but I will just advise y'all to get your shit together when it comes to children. You need to fucking reevaluate your lives and your life choices. Children do not belong in pornography.
No.
Stop it. It's disgusting. And I'm going to move on before this turns into a dedicated episode on those $6. So I would say in those cases, the only positive thing is that the people involved were caught and sentenced. So there's that at least. So next up, there's a case that reminded me, you remember that show we used to watch on True TV called World's Dumbest Criminals?
Oh, yeah.
Or Dumbest Criminals? Was it World's?
I think so.
Dumbest Criminals something on True TV. I don't know if it's still on. I don't know if we don't have cable, so it could rerun somewhere. I don't even know if True TV is still a channel in its own.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I remember we would have it on and it play for hours, and we would all sit there and just fucking laugh our asses off.
It always made me feel better about my life.
I mean, it is right. I just remember any episode that Tanya Harding was on. It particularly was ironic to me that this woman is sitting there judging these other criminals.
Yes.
And I guess that's just that she could kind of laugh at herself in some respect.
Yeah.
Because she became a laughing stock with her crime. But that always just struck me as very ironic,
Yeah.
And then I was starting to think, like, any of those other people that were on that show, were they criminals too? Had they had like a criminal?
Oh, yeah.
All of them?
Well, a lot of them were
like
comedians,
and
but
Leif Garrett was on there.
Yeah, but there was that one guy with, Joey. He was the hired assassin of Amy. Oh my God.
What?
Getting old sucks. I'll have to look it up.
Amy, hired assassin.
Yeah.
They had him on there?
I want to say Joey. I don't remember his name.
They had somebody who was a paid assassin on there? I didn't know that. Okay. I mean, I guess that criminals talking about dumb criminals, sure.
Or maybe he wasn't the assassin. Maybe he was just like the other man. Or no, he was the husband. I don't know. Sorry. I'll have to look it up.
Okay. Well, you get back to us on that. That'll be your update for next week's episode. Sure. Okay. So anyways, exactly 1 year ago, Michael Harrell walked into a U.S. bank in Cleveland, Ohio. It's Monday. It's just before lunch. He had spent the morning at DMV. DMV. That's always fun. He gets in the bank. He waits, his turn in line. He finally gets up to the teller and he passes a note across the counter that demands money. What this idiot didn't think of or thought would be fine.
Yeah.
The fucking paper that he used to write his note on was a DMV form that had his full name and address on it.
Of course it did.
And so then the teller looks at it front and back, reads the note, notices what the form is, like looks front and back, and she calls the robber by his first name and he answers. And she hands over money, right? I don't know how much. And then after Harold leaves without the note, the teller calls 911 and was like, here you go. Here's the guy. Like, this is him.
Here's his address.
Right. So the FBI were able to very quickly arrest this gentleman.
This mastermind.
Right. It's like Monday morning. You're like, I'm done with the fucking DMV. Let me go rob a bank.
Yeah.
Let me give all of the information as well to find me. Because, I don't really want to do anything with this money. I just want to rob the bank.
I just want to have it.
Go ahead and I'll go to prison.
Yeah.
What I found funny about the article that I read was it goes on to mention how often this actually happens. So the FBI says that they find cell phones, papers, receipts, identification, and other personal items all the time left at the scene of the crimes. I mean, I don't condone criminal activity, but this shit is hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean,
see here I'm thinking like those TV shows like CSI or like high tech cutting edge, and no, it's just some guy left a DMV receipt there.
Right.
Jesus.
No, for real. I mean, so I continue on with this fuckery. It's like immensely helpful in tracking you down and getting you off the street so you can't be stupid in the general public.
Well,
So go ahead. I won't warn you to do anything other than that. You're stupid enough. I don't need to add to it.
We're not condoning bank robbery.
No. I'm not condoning crime, but I mean, if you're going to be dumb enough to do it, then
yes,
go ahead and help us catch you. So our last story is actually an update from our third episode. So in March, we covered the story of Susan Powell and her disappearance.
Yes, very sad.
Very sad story. She still remains missing, and there's still really no good leads. When her father-in-law and her husband died, that was pretty much the only hope I think that anybody had of actually finding